Welcome back to the channel. First, let me say, your girl just celebrated her birthday. I know this video was a little bit late because I went out last night and enjoyed myself. I am not a drinker, okay? So I had one drink and boy, did it put me down. But I am here now and I want to say thank you guys for just the love on my channel. Can y'all believe we are almost to 5,000? I cannot believe we are almost there. So thank you guys for all the love. Make sure before I start, you like, you subscribe. If you haven't already, make sure you drop me some love in the comments. Show me some birthday love because your girl is a Virgo sister. And I'm just so happy to be celebrating another year of life, being so grateful, so blessed. And here's to 38. Now, this episode came together for me, and as I was watching it, I was like, what are we doing here? Okay, you got a show where the foundation is sisterhood and sisters come together, the reboot of this show, but we can't be on the same page with a photo shoot. Okay, so I'm wondering, how do you have a show that's about sisterhood and y'all can't even show up together? The math is not making sense. And in some ways, it does shed a light on the impact of grief in families when one person, to me, I've always said this, I feel like Traci was very much the glue of this family. When you have that pivotal family member who is like this, suddenly passes away. And how to cope, how to deal with that. But it also shows you just how toxic sisterhood is. And now we all talk about, we throw that word around, sisterhood, Black love, but what does it really mean? Because I feel like a lot of sisterhood nowadays is toxic. You call your friend your sister, she's sleeping with your man. You call your other friend your sister, she talking about you behind your back. And it shows you the dynamics of what, to me, the reality of sisterhood is. Though this is not everyone's story, I think it is a lot of family dynamics when you have one person who really is the glue of the relationship, the sisterhood, the family. And I feel like once that person passes away, in Black families at least, things start to crumble if they already weren't in the best place. And now we pick up on this episode and they're preparing for the reboot of the show to launch. How are y'all having a photo shoot about sisterhood, family, and y'all can't even come together for a photo shoot? And I get Toni was saying, well, you know, Tamar is busy. She's a mom. Y'all wasn't getting along. Okay. And we see how Tamar has said this show has been toxic for her. Look at it. The foundation of the reboot, the photo shoot. They couldn't even come together. So that to me was like if Tamar was feeling that right then what do they think? What do you think we were going to pick up on? To know that she was photoshopped into the whole marketing piece, it was a disaster from the beginning. Okay, and we see them try and get together. And another thing that I really noticed and picked up on, this was the first episode when we didn't have a lot of imagery of Toni, of Traci, and we did not see a lot of imagery or in person Kevin Jr. And so this is what you got. Okay, you got these sisters over here. You got Tamar, a friend of. We saw what it really looks like to be a friend of, because I feel like this whole show, was she really a friend of? Because she was always in all the episodes. But this to me was the first episode where we saw what it is, what it was. Sisters over here, Toni over here, Tamar over here, and then we got Mama E. Okay, now I don't need to see no more scenes of Mama E and these fake dates. She is not capable of love. Okay, she don't want to love no man. She want to be kept. She want the bag thrown at her. She want to be flued out, and she want her wig to look a certain way. Okay, so I don't need more of that. Okay, we don't believe it. At least I don't believe it. Okay, and now make sure y'all check out that other video I did on Miss E, because we're gonna get a little bit deeper in part 2 and go into some more family relationship, mother-daughter relationship, and how that affects how you show up in your relationships as an adult with men. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But yeah, a lot of it was just like, what am I watching again? I was like, the editing was just like all over the place. It felt like they had a bunch of scenes that they just had to plot and pick at because nothing was going on. There was no linear storyline to build this entire episode, that we had to kind of jump, clip, and put things together. I'm like, okay, first y'all at the photo shoot. We see y'all at the nail shop. Okay. Mr. Chow's. Then y'all jump over to Vegas. We see Toni, getting ready for her show. Who clipped all this together? Okay, because it felt like a really bad PowerPoint. It was not giving. It was kind of boring. Okay, and now once again, I don't need to see Toni adding nothing to no show. She continues to talk about her lupus and how it's showing up in her life and how she has bronchitis. The trauma in your body is saying, sit down before I make you sit down. And again, she's not listening to her body. It's like she's cognizant of what is happening, but all these other responsibilities and things consume her. And that's what I need to focus on. And her and Cedric the Entertainer, I was like, where did this idea come from? Okay, now I get that they've been friends for a long time, but did we really need this? Are we gonna die or be disappointed if there's no more Ced the Entertainer, love and laughter? No. Okay, I really hope and pray. I've said this in so many videos. Toni, please sit down and work on your health. Do something that's not so extraneous on your body. Okay? Now, the good thing I did like about this episode, we got a little bit of peek, a very little scene of Tawana talking about her alopecia. And as a Black woman, we have been conditioned for so long that our hair is everything. It controls our mood. It controls how people see us. It controls how we get jobs, how we show up in the world. Our hair is everything. And I think it's sad that we are this is episode 7, 8, and we only have one more episode left. It took us to get all the way here to hear her story about her hair. I think that could have been a pivotal thing that a lot of Black viewers will relate to about alopecia, losing our hair, and the shame that comes around losing your hair, wearing wigs. And I want to hear more about how that affected her, but we focused so much on lean on Traci's storyline that we did not get that. But yes, even me as a Black woman, I am working on not having my hair define me. It affects my mood sometimes. If my hair is not looking good, then my whole mood for the rest of the day is not good. And I'm sure some of y'all can relate to that. Our hair got to be looking a certain way because society has told us that we have to be presentable. Our elders, don't go outside with your hair looking like that. Put some grease in that. And even now that more what Black women are going natural, you hear the elders, when you gonna do something with that hair? And you walk in like, I did my hair this morning. It's natural. It's called a twist out, a wash and go. You get them looks. It's just your hair. It's like, Mom, what is wrong with my hair? I'm wearing it natural. I'm embracing my naturalness. But I think for so long, our Black elders fought for different rights regarding appearance, hair, that they don't understand how you embracing that. Don't you want to do something? Put a wig on it, some braids, press it out. It's like, no, I'm embracing my natural beauty. And we got to see a little bit of that. We also got to see a little bit of Sean. Is he over there eating Trina food? Because I don't recognize this man, okay? And I'm not going to shame nobody, but he is not recognizable. I want to see more about their relationship. I feel like this show could have gave us so much more richness and depth into the different layers of their lives, but they want to show us the narrative versus reality, okay? These women have been showing us for 8 episodes, the narrative versus the reality. I think that is a problem with Tamar in their eyes, is that I think Tamar is at a point where she wants to live authentically, live her truth, live out loud. And we see her cutting her waist beads, which is very symbolic of her letting go. You know, the petty side of me was like, okay, you cut them waist beads and look at your life now. You got JR in the news. You got Tommy taking your man. Maybe you shouldn't have cut them waist beads. But it shows how she's trying to let go and live her life authentically. And I think in a lot of ways, the sisterhood is not ready for that. They're not ready for vulnerability. They're not ready to just be transparent about their lives. And that makes Tamar become othered because she's in a different place than they are. And I hope at some point we can see transparency. We can see vulnerability, because that would be a great example to people, especially in communities of color, that shy away from, don't feel comfortable with being vulnerable and crying. And throughout this episode, there were a lot of moments that were emotional, but none of them show vulnerability. You see at the end, Toni is trying to hold it together. It's okay to cry, y'all. It's okay to be vulnerable. You are human, okay? Let your body release. Let go of that, what's in your throat. You know, when you're about to start crying, you feel it right here and you just push it back down. Let it come out and release. That is the trauma. That is the hurt trying to escape your body. But you are so used to pushing it down that is all that you know. The conditioning that you have been taught, mirrored to you. In this case, Miss E has mirrored to her daughters. Now, the episode was kind of lackluster. I enjoyed the hummingbird piece when we saw the hummingbird come up, but it shows you just how Tamar and Traci are the glue to this show. As much as y'all don't like Tamar, her laughter, the different things about her, the show is kind of boring to me without her. Okay? And also, Traci was the glue to this show, her humor, her personality, all of that is missed. And I don't know how we're going to have a season 2. But of course, let me know your thoughts, because is it just me? But this episode was so disconnected, all over the place. I need this editing to be a little bit more linear, but it shows that they're not willing to show what's really happening. So they have to figure out ways to put these things together, make them make sense, because it ain't connecting to audiences. It's not connecting to viewership. Okay. But thank you guys once again for the love on this channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. Show your girl some birthday love if you got to the very end. And of course, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.